Hi and welcome Pisces, my name is Elizabeth Bratcher, Psychic Medium, and I'm here to do a weekly read for you for the 26th of July until the 1st of August. So I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video today. I also do daily reads on YouTube and live feeds every Friday at 8 PM New South Wales Eastern Standard Time, and you'll find me on Facebook and here doing the live feeds. Also do readings all over the world via face-to-face, phone and video as well. Guys, if you enter the code of July for the rest of July, you'll also receive a 20% discount on any of my services. So what I'm doing today is reading for you guys with a full spread from my Elizacle deck, and also going to read from my Sun and Moon Tarot deck as well. Okay, I'm going to pull you 3 cards randomly and then I'll follow suit. So just remember guys that I am reading for a few of you, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Also appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel while you're here. I do reply to all comments and also appreciate a thumbs up as well. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, yeah. Now, so you've got the bigger picture card straight up, which talks about needing to focus a little bit more on long term as opposed to short term. You might need a little bit of clearing out with that one. You've got the clearing out the stables going. Yeah, okay. All right, let's have a look. So Pisces, as I said, you've got the first card you've pulled out there is the bigger picture card, okay, and you've got the Take 5 card, and you've also got the card around clearing out the stables, okay. So when I sit with this energy, that's what I say, it's like, for some of you it's going to resonate in different ways, and for some of you it's going to be, you know, just those little things you need to pull in for line, but I definitely feel for some of you this is more challenging as well. And it's about looking at the bigger picture beyond long term, beyond the short term, you know, so things that are easier, like I'll do it now because it's easier, or, it's just easier, so I'm just going to do it this way now, and not really putting in the energy that's actually going to take you to where you need to be long term, okay? And whether that be in a financial way, a happiness way, health way, or whatever it is that's there, it's just asking you to take a little bit of a look at that. The Take 5 card always just talks about just taking that moment, you know, don't just try to rush through, really sit with this energy properly. Now you've got the clearing out the stables card, and the thing around that, that's, as I said, it's a nice big shovel of poo, because generally when we talk about clearing out the stables, that's what it is. It's time to shovel out the shit, okay? It needs to go. You've got the Spirit card that comes out, and when I made this card, I made it specifically as a sign from Spirit. You know, we all look for signs and, you know, feathers and dreams and all of that kind of beautiful energy that comes around. Well, this is a card that's a validation as well, okay? And so for me as well, that tells me that some of this energy for a lot of you is going to be really heartfelt, and that you're going to be calling on that support, and that Spirit is really guiding you and trying to give you the energy and everything that you need to have the strength and the courage and the motivation to actually see this out, okay? Then you've got the Joy card that follows from it, and that, you know, I use the word joy as instead of happiness on this card, because to me joy encompasses happiness, but peace and harmony and balance and all of those beautiful things that are there as well, okay? So what it's saying is, if you can take the time to do this work that you need to do, start putting it in place this week, joy is going to follow, but this energy has to come from within you, okay? We can't wait till, you know, I'll wait till this happens, or I'll wait till that comes in, or I'll wait till this person does that. That's not going to serve, okay? This energy has to come from within you, all right? And then beautiful. So then you've got the Prosperity card that follows as well, which does talk about financial growth and security and abundance. And definitely, you know, when we're tapped in with ourselves, that's going to come in. So for some of you though, I feel like this is actually very specifically around starting a business as well. But for some of you, I feel like it's like health and business are the two biggest ones that come up around it. But it's also clearing out that energy, because when we think about health, being unhappy, it leads to all kinds of different pieces that's there. And I'm feeling like a monotony, you know, a routine. And I don't even want to make a bigger circle. I want to kind of make an oval. It's almost like it just, you know, and you've had enough, and it's kind of like time to make a change, and you're not quite sure where to go with that, but you do know, and that's where it's saying just take a moment to regroup, recuperate, be mindful, sit with Spirit. Okay, you got the Procrastination card, which talks about creating delays to avoid action, something I'm very good at. So guys, just, you know, kick your own asses. How many times do you need to vacuum the house, for example, instead of doing what you need to do? All right, it's that kind of energy. You've got the External Conflict card, which just talks about, you know, it's conflict caused by outside forces and people. So there's a lot of work, as I said, and that's why the energy needs to come in from within, okay? Waiting for it to come from the outside isn't going to serve you any purpose. But then you've got the freedom, the letting go, and the completions card, okay, which talks, end of completion. So it's a positive energy, but I can feel the work that's here, all right? I can feel the work that's here. So I know that this is resonating for some of you in different kind of ways, but I just want you to know that it's going to be worth it and it's time. Feels like there's some issues around the home this week. And it's funny because what I'm seeing in my head is like clutter and kind of whinging at people. Like when your kids aren't cleaning up after themselves and all that kind of stuff. And I just feel frustrated. So I just want to keep that energy in place there. It's just a frustration. Might be a couple of things like that just break down, or a little expense. Like I want to keep it all a little, but I just feel frustrated. Just keep with the flow of it. Like just take a breath and keep perspective with things like that around the home. Don't let them blow out of proportion. Nice. Okay. Yep. Cool bananas. Some of you have been working towards, and yes, for some of you it is that business energy that's there, but for some of you I'm showing that you're actually working towards a promotion. Okay. That feels like it's all in place. I just need you to throw a little bit more of that energy into it. It's almost like you're being guided. Everything's falling into place, and then you got the prosperity. So don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate around that. Okay, so the energy of what it is that you needed to know most this week as well, and I pulled these 4 cards separate from the rest of the spread because this is like exactly what is it? Okay, out of all of this, what do we need to know the most? And so you've got the transformation card, which talks about, blossoming into true self. And regardless, as I said, of where that energy has resonated for you, it definitely is about moving towards your more truer self, okay? You've pulled the Where Are You card, and that's a card that's been lingering around a lot in the last 2 or 3 weeks in, lots of different star signs and the daily reads and things like that. But this is a big card. It says to you, if today was your last day on earth, what do you think about that? How does that make you feel about how you lived? What does that bring up for you? And, I did this exercise myself because the card kept popping up everywhere. And I had about probably 8 things on the list that I feel like I've, just a little bit more courage and, things like that, just to sort of step forward and shine and just, be who I want to be in that relation to the work and the purpose that I have of serving people. And so, a couple of other things on the list. But then what I did is I wrote another list straight underneath it of what I could do to actually counteract that. So that, should that day come about, because God knows, we don't know, then I know that I'm not going to have that list in play. You know what I mean? And it's a massive thing, then but just, give it a little bit of food for thought. We've got the intuition card that's there, which talks about the fact you need to trust your psychic senses a little bit more and that you have that ability. And overall, with everything that we've talked about, most importantly, that you understand it's time. Okay, so that's what I have for you out of my cards, guys, but I want to pull you some tarot as well. It's really nice. You know what it is, though, too? I know that... and like universally speaking, there's a lot of shifting energies as far as the planets and goes, but it's been definitely a lot of energy readings this week. By energy, I talk about, they're not necessarily going, okay, here's work, here's relationships, here's this, here's that. It's more what's going on with you. All right, so as usual, guys, I've given the deck cards a good shuffle before. Nice, okay. So you've got the 5 of Pentacles that's there, which can talk about delays around money, but it also talks about coming in from the cold. And the nice part I like about this card is it doesn't really matter kind of what tarot, or, anyway, what my point is that most tarot decks do symbolise that stained glass window in the background and things like that. And it's about, where your faith, your security and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. It's not necessarily a religious context. It's just as far as like your own personal points of view with that. Okay, so just know that everything is going to be okay as well. You might be feeling a little bit out of place and a little bit out in the cold this week, but just know that you're secure. You're going to be okay. You've got the 7 of Pentacles that's there, which just talks about some work frustrations and some hard work needing to be done, and that's very much a reflection of what we did speak about that's there. As I said, for others with work, I'm actually feeling quite a positive energy of promotions coming into place and upliftment that's there, extra hours or whatever it is that has been needing for you that you've been kind of niggling at. Okay, I was going to say I don't feel this is a brand new fresh energy, but as I went to say that, they took it back. I went, no, some opportunities will come in this week. So just nice, just stand solid in your energy, okay? You've got the Eight of Wands, which talks about energy moving about very quickly this week, which is good because some of it we don't want to get caught into. But it also means and shows me that for some of you, in a positive aspect, you're going to take this energy and begin to work with it. And for others of you, you're going to need to hear this message once or twice more before, some of that shifting energy comes into place. And that's all right, because there's always just little lessons that are meant to be there in the meantime. You've got the Death card that's there, which just talks about, the endings, the death of the situation, and it's time for new beginnings. Death very rarely means death. Okay, and, definitely with work and with self and things like that, it's a really nice positive energy that slips through. You've got the Ten of Wands though, so just be mindful about not overloading yourself and just realising where your burdens are and what you're carrying that you shouldn't be, all of that kind of stuff that's there. So very much so, Pisces, it's a week for you to reflect on self, on where you're at, and just sort of laying the pavers and knowing that, whether it's work, relationships and everything else like that, that when it comes to you in the centre line, you're content and happy with who you are, where you're going and all of that, okay? And just, it's time to check in this week, all right? So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you've enjoyed the reading. As I said, I do appreciate a thumbs up. I do reply to all comments. Look forward to seeing you again when I do see you. But until then, take care and have a beautiful day.